Welcome to the city of North Miami. It is Tuesday, October 8th, 2013, and it is exactly 7:06. Mr. Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Sterrin.
Here.
Mayor Thundro.
Here.
Vice Mayor Galvin.
Here.
Councilman Bieneme.
Here.
Councilwoman Keys.
Here.
Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Now we can start with the Pledge of Allegiance that will be conducted by Zico Fremont from FIU.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Let us remain standing. We have Pastor Luna Marchand for the invocation.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this moment. As the leaders of the city gather together in this meeting, we invite you to take your seat, O God, and to lead. And we're asking you for your perfect peace, oh God, in this city, perfect peace in this city hall, your perfect peace on this council. We ask you for the spirit of unity, oh God, as they're about to go over things that concern the city, oh Lord God. Let them give them the wisdom that you gave to Solomon, oh God, oh, that they can, in understanding, that they can do everything that they do when according to your perfect will, oh Lord God. The same way people from other country came to witness the wisdom of King Solomon, they can come from all over the world to witness, amen, what's going to happen in this city of North Miami as you take in control tonight. Do something new and bless every single soul in this meeting. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Mr. City Manager, are there any addition, deletion to the agenda?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. There are a few additions and deletions I'd like to bring to your attention. First, in order of deletions, under ordinances, first reading, 11C2, I'd like to remove tab K until the next council meeting. I also, under additions, I like to add to the agenda under section 12, requests, petitions, and communications, tab N as in November. And I like to add under section 11B, resolutions, tab H1, Councilwoman Carol Keys is the requester regarding a street naming. And I failed to tell you that tab N is regarding discussion and approval regarding the city's millage rate adjustment.
Thank you. I am going,
Madam Mayor.
that October is going to be, it is Cancer Awareness Month, and we in the city are going to celebrate this day or this month in order to ensure that our citizens, the citizens of our city who are victims, who have won the battle against breast cancer, are recognized, and those thousands of volunteers that have been with them and the professionals that we also will be honoring them during this month. At this point, I'm asking for council and the clerk to join me, please, for a special presentation. Thank you. As I said earlier, October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's a chance for all of us to realize the importance of screening and early detection of breast cancer. About 1 out of 8 women born today in the United States will get breast cancer at some point during their life. After skin cancer, breast cancer is the most common kind of cancer in women. Self-exams, mammograms help to detect breast cancer early. Early detection and treatment save lives. In observance of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I would like to present a certificate of recognition to one of our own employees who is a breast cancer survivor. Tanya Wilson Sejour, Interim Community Planning and Development Manager. Please come forward to receive this recognition on behalf of the cancer warriors throughout North Miami. Congratulations. And for somebody, whoever survived this, and I'm sure Tanya, if you would, in a couple of words, explain to us what you will go through. I mean, we all talk about diseases, we talk about cancer, and most of the time we try not to put a face to those that are battling this disease. And it's only somebody has cancer, but we have somebody in-house, our own employee, who survive breast cancer. As a matter of fact, I'm taking this opportunity to invite you. We're going to have a garden for breast cancer survivors and domestic violence. At the end of October, I'm going to ask all of you at home as well who know somebody who survived breast cancer to come and bring a flower that we're going to plant that day. All of us, we're going to do it together with the name of that particular person. Tanya?
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council, for the recognition. I just want to emphasize that cancer is really no respecter of persons, regardless of age, regardless of nationality, regardless of race. I think many people in this room probably know one individual or two that have been impacted by breast cancer in some way. And I think it's just important to promote awareness, early detection, of course, early mammograms, that's important also. And to really just celebrate the value of life, recognizing that anyone can be touched by it. It's really not a particular lifestyle. I've been vegetarian for over 16 years. So really, it's just to raise awareness. This month is why it's been dubbed National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I would just encourage you, male or female, because I've known males also along the journey that have been diagnosed with breast cancer. It's important if you have females in your life, your mother, your daughters, your sisters, just to encourage them to do the early detection and go through the screenings. And thank you for this honor and awareness.
Any city event coming up?
Mayor, we do have one other presentation, if
do?
we may. Yes, it's the, Mr. Jose Morhudo is here to provide a brief presentation regarding the North Miami Library, the Visioning Master Plan. This is to display a floor plan that they're recommending on the space available.
Sure, my mistake.
If I can ask him to come forth
Well,
at
we're
this
going to do
time.
some exercise today. Let's go, guys.
He's going to do a slide
Oh, okay.
presentation.
let him do it.
Madam Mayor of Council, I am very, very happy to present today the library project. We have been working with Siskovich and architects for months, coming. Are you on now?
Yes.
We have been working with Siskovich and architects for the past few months, going back and forth, addressing issues related to the 40-year recertification, but also basic needs that our library has. As you know, we're bursting at the seams, and without expanding, being very frugal, without expanding the footprint of the building, we need to expand the public use of our library building. So that is what we're seeking. And as you know, we're also seeking additional funding from the state to accomplish this, which we're going to present to you this evening. Thank you for the opportunity. I'd like to introduce our architect, Mr. Murguiro.
Thank you, Lucia. I'm delighted to be here this evening to share with you a brief overview of our master plan. And are we on? Yes. Okay. One of the things that we did, as Lucia mentioned, was we did the 40-year certification. But the important thing now is to figure out a way of maintaining the relevance of the library, making sure that it responds to the community needs. And within the master plan, what we did was we looked at what libraries were doing within our community. We benchmarked it against Miami-Dade County public libraries as well as other municipal libraries. And unfortunately, we read in the paper the role of the library in some parts of the county is diminishing in some of the communities. So it's all the more important that this library rise to the occasion. But we also looked at international trends as the libraries are serving their communities. And there's some common denominators that we found. One is that no two are alike. They respond to very specific community needs. Also, they are the community technology portal. This is where the community actually accesses the internet, online applications, so on and so forth. So it serves a very vital function in a community. It's also a great place for the young people in the community. As we see in North Miami Library, that is a very, very active hub of the young people in the community. It's a great place where young students discover the wonderment of reading and maintain those great lifelong habits. And it is another great place where the senior community comes in and engages the rest of the community. So there's a lot of roles that a library has. It's not simply a place to read books. Now, we worked very carefully with staff to determine what the program should be for this library, and we came up with these 40 key items, and that determined the master plan. It's not an eye test. I'll just give you a little insight as to what those summaries are. But we, in fact, determined 20 key program items, and in general, what we did is we looked at the library, understanding the way it functions, and one of the key aspects of really making this library turn around, believe it or not, is in the bathroom. Because one of the problems that we found is it's not accessible. And the way that we solve that particular problem has a great impact on how this library can, in fact, serve the rest of the community. And I'll show you what we mean by that. We realized this by working very carefully with staff. This is a charrette where we actually worked with the plans, and there was staff as well as library personnel to help us with that. But this plan came up with two options, and I'll make my recommendation after taking you through the two options. But option A was, and you see in blue, is where the current toilet facilities are in the bathroom, and they do not provide for handicap accessibility. What that meant was that the lobby in that library was basically used as a very large foyer to the bathrooms and affected the entire operation of the library. Option B, we realized that by simply adding 2 small strategic bathrooms and solving the handicap problem, we could convert the library into a modern, highly used, much more utilization of the space. And what we show in this plan is the way that the library is going to be utilized in option A. I don't know if you could see my cursor here, but the way that it works is you come into the main lobby in this area. In option A, we had these 2 bathrooms that were going to be remodeled. The circulation desk would be redone as indicated in a more engaging geometry to bring the community in. The stacks would be relocated at the back. We would have a nice area for the teenagers and the children coming around, and of course the multi-purpose room at the corner, which serves much more than library functions, voting and community meetings and whatnot. We realized that in option B, by putting in these two little bathrooms here, not adding any square feet, but just claiming space that's being underutilized, we're able to take advantage of the wow space. The library has a great space in it. It's almost a two-story entry space, which is basically used as a foyer to the bathrooms. And where the circulation desk is currently at now is the secondary wow space. So it allows us to bring the library functions into the spaces that are probably the most dramatic, have the most amount of light, and have the best reception to the community. So what we are suggesting that the council consider for approval today is, in fact, building those two small libraries, which would allow us to move the circulation desk now front and center. So as you come into the library, you have control in this area, a Genius Bar technology right in the hub of the library, so as people come in, they get their technology right there, followed by a stack area right behind that where students as well as community can work on tables and so on. At the end of the library, there are meeting rooms that could serve critical either independent learning or community meetings. Stacks would be located to the north, as you see here, and then we'll have children and young adult areas right below that. The multi-purpose room could maintain its separate operation by simply using the new bathrooms that we provided without opening the library. So we think you have a much more versatile, multi-purpose type facility. We take the 20,000 square feet you currently have and really yield much higher utilization. The library also expands its footprint to the outdoors. You have a great entry area, so we're suggesting that there could be a cafe that could be located just to the north, internet services in the courtyard area, and expand the footprint to that location. We have completed the master plan. The recommendation is that the city entertain option B to move forward. We're able to initiate the design upon the notice to proceed. We have about a month and a half to design the documents. We anticipate that the work that's necessary could be achieved in about 4 months' time. Finally, the master plan recognizes that the total scope of work is about 1.9 million, although we've carved out of it the initial phase of 800,000, so we've defined the scope to achieve what we share with you on option A. So with that, I'll be able to answer any questions the council may have.
I have a question. You know that the library is used during election time, especially presidential elections, when we have a crowd of people going there. There any provision for this type of event? Because we know that the voting place is not big enough. We have seen it in 2008, and again during the presidential election last year. Are there any provision in case that it happens? We don't know whether or not we're going to have our 2 weeks early voting to provide for a large crowd.
Well, the space that we're reutilizing is the space that is actually within the envelope of the library. We're not expanding any square footage.
Okay, because no, what I'm telling you is this. Last year during the presidential elections,
yes,
we end up using inside of the library to put more computers for people to cast their ballots.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to see within your plan, adjacent to the room where people go and vote, we're gonna have space in case we face the same issue, so that we can use that space for voting.
Yes, excellent point. And in fact, one of the things that the libraries are now doing, they're called Library 2.0s, is that many of the shelving is in fact located on casters, so they can in fact be moved out of the way, and you could actually accommodate large groups of people. That's an option that's in the furniture of this library, so that could easily be achieved, and you could in fact house many, many more people than you currently do in the small multipurpose room.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I just want to say, Mayor and Council, that this is not anything that we're voting on tonight. We're just rolling it out, and then at some point in time, we will be giving you this presentation. As we are waiting for the opportunity for additional funding, we will present it to you at a later date for your review and your decision-making on that. Thank you.
Madam Manager, I know that the Friends of Library has been working very hard. Is this plan already presented to them? If so, do they have any feedback?
Friends of the Library.
Yes.
I think that's Lucia's question.
Yes, we have presented the project to the Friends of the Library. We have discussed it, and also to the library board. They are both very aware of the project, and they're very supportive and, in fact, in love with the project.
Okay.
We have some of our members present here tonight.
Mine other questions, probably for the city manager or yourself, or through the city manager. I overheard that the budget is $1.9 million. But I know that the city actually allocated, what, $1 million for the...
1 million.
1 million. Do we have made any other provision, or do we have any grants that will satisfy the budget?
Yes, through the mayor, Councilwoman Stir, you're correct. As the architect indicated, that there's one component that we could carve out 800,000, and it would be 1.1. In addition to the $1 million that the Mayor and Council previously allocated for the library, we are seeking a $500,000 construction grant from the state of Florida. We did receive news that we were one of 3 applicants that has moved on to the next phase. So once we get that grant, the outcome, we will come back before council and give you that update.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. City events. Pam?
Good evening, everyone. And to our viewers at home, it gives me a great pleasure to share with you all of our upcoming events, well, at least highlights of our upcoming events for the month of October. Starting with tomorrow evening, we have a town hall forum on the health insurance marketplace. It launched. It's live as of last week, October 1st. And Mayor Tondreau, in collaboration with Senator Oscar Brainin, State Representative Daphne Campbell, and Miami-Dade County Commissioner Jean Manestim, are hosting a town hall meeting tomorrow evening, which is Wednesday, October 9th at 6 p.m. at the Joe Celestine Center. That's located at 1525 Northwest 135th Street. And it's basically an opportunity to find out more about the health coverage options, more about the type of plans that are there, and how to receive assistance in navigating the process to apply. The application process is open from now until March of next year, 2014, and coverage begins as early as January 1st. So for more information, come out to our town hall meeting tomorrow evening at the Joe Celestine Center. We'll have some of our community health partners there that will be able to assist you and show you how to navigate the process and follow up with them directly, such as Borinquen Medical Centers, that's here in North Miami, San La Haitian Neighborhood Center, North Miami Elderly Center, and the Health Council of South Florida, as well as other partners that have jumped on board to be involved to educate the North Miami community about the health insurance marketplace. This Thursday, October 10th, the Florida Department of Transportation is hosting a public workshop on improvements they're proposing for Northeast 125th Street between Northeast 5th Avenue to Northeast 7th Avenue. That it will take place this Thursday, October 10th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Griffin Center, which is located at 12220 Griffin Boulevard. That's our community center right on Griffin Boulevard at 123rd Street. Residents and business owners will have the opportunity to provide input on the recommended improvements that will impact that area. This Friday, October 11th, we are hosting our Grand Fiesta block party to conclude our Hispanic Heritage Month celebrations. It's a free event from 6 to 9. It takes place on the corner of Northeast 133rd Street at Northeast 9th Avenue. It's just north of the North Miami Public Library, and it's a fun-filled block party. We'll have a live DJ, music by Plena Es, a band that will be performing live, food from El Kiosco Latin Cafe, which is there on the corner as well, and a sponsored domino tournament. It's really just an opportunity to bring your family out and enjoy our diverse culture here in North Miami. This year we feature the culture of Puerto Rico, and that's the band that's performing is a Puerto Rican band. So come out and enjoy our Gran Fiesta Block Party this Friday, October 11th. Next Saturday, October 19th, we are hosting the Walk This Way kickoff party. Mayor Tondreau is hosting an initiative to a healthier North Miami. We're inviting the community to walk 1,000,000 steps towards a healthier you. So bring your family out to our Walk This Way event. It's Saturday, October 19th from 7 to 9 a.m. It's a morning activity because we want everyone out and about in the morning at Cagney Park. It's located at 13498 Northeast 8th Avenue, basically the track area of North Miami Senior High. That's Cagney Park. And this is just the kickoff towards all of our walking opportunities. We have scheduled walking, self-guided walking areas at our parks throughout the month. So you can log on at northmiamifl.gov/celebrate to find out more about the Walk This Way initiative. And last but not least, just wanted to tease our Halloween Haunted Trails event. It is coming up at the end of this month, Friday, October 25th. Tickets are on sale now at the Parks and Recreation Administrative Office. You can buy a family fun zone pass. So if you buy 4 tickets, you get 1 free. It's a pack of 5 for $20. Tickets at the gate will be $5 for entry, ages 4 and over, free for ages 3 and under, and the event takes place at the Enchanted Forest, Elaine Gordon Park, located at 1725 Northeast 135th Street. That's Friday, October 25th, 7 to 11 p.m., the Halloween Haunted Trails event. And more information, once again, is at northmiamifl.gov/celebrate. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. Madam Deputy City Manager, are we having any hurricane this year?
No.
No, huh?
So far, so good.
Good.
So far, so good, Mr.
Great.
Madam Mayor. So far, so good for hurricane for this season, and we have nothing to report in terms of preparation. Whatever needs to be done from the city point of view has already been done.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, now we are going to open citizen forums for those of you who wishes to speak. Excuse me?
City projects.
Don't have any city project. Do we have any?
Yes, we do.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we do have, I apologize, Mayor. We do have some city projects coming from our Assistant Public Works Director, Kareth Fittler. And I will add that moving forward, City Projects 2013 will be all of the city's projects combined together.
Good evening. I wanted to, we made some tremendous progress with some of our projects. I'm going to highlight some of the projects that's been completed as part of Progress 2013. The purchase of all the police vehicles, along with some public works vehicles and parks vehicles, have been purchased. The police vehicles, they're all in. We're just outfitting them with some equipment, but we have them all in now. Also, the Northeast 142nd Street alley wall, that was completed over the weekend. Also, the Enchanted Forest, the roof, everything's been completed at the Enchanted Forest. All city sidewalk repair that was allocated, we completed that. And also City Hall Wi-Fi. I don't think I've ever brought that up here, but that's been completed as well.
Good.
Okay?
Wonderful.
All right.
And congratulations on the Enchanted Forest. Wonderful job.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
That's it.
Great. Now, Citizen Forum is open. Okay, citizen forum is closed. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to move a couple of items off
Do
for
you have a
discussion.
motion, Mr. Galvin?
Yes, ma'am. I
Make
would
your motion.
like to move, items B as in boy and D as in dog off the consent agenda for general discussion.
Anyone wishes to record a no? B and what?
B as in boy and D as in dog.
Mr. Clerk.
Do you have anyone who second your motion?
Do we need to second a motion?
Yes, you do.
Under Robert's rules, we don't even need a vote, but I'll second it.
Anybody wishes to record a no?
No.
Mr. Clerk?
Okay, the only person who recorded no was, would you like a roll call vote, Mayor, or would
Yes,
you?
please.
Okay. Councilman Bienemé,
No.
Councilwoman Keys,
Yes.
Councilwoman Steril,
Yes.
Mayor Thundro,
No.
Vice Mayor Galvin.
Yes.
Okay, so the item passes 3-2. Item B and item D is now on the regular agenda and removed off the consent
Can you repeat it
agenda.
again? B and what?
B as in boy, D as in dog.
Okay.
Mr. Clerk?
May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as is? without
So
the
move.
two?
Second.
Vice Mayor Galvin,
Yes.
Mayor Thundro,
Yes.
Councilman Bienemé,
Yes.
Councilwoman Keys,
Yes.
Councilwoman Steril.
Yes.
Item passes 5-0. Tab B, authorization for expenditure from the Law Enforcement Trust Fund for tower fees for radios used by code enforcement.
Madam Mayor? I was just curious as to what that meant, radios. Have we purchased some new radios that need some sort of Wi-Fi? I mean, I just didn't quite understand what that was about. So.
The radios have already been purchased, but there is a fee usage that each radio must have to use the tower. Sort of like a cell phone. There's a tower, and there's a monthly charge, an annual charge for those radios to operate. They must be tied into the tower.
And does item B cover the fees for the full year?
Yes.
Okay. How many radios does that cover?
I'm not for sure how many radios that covers. I would have to see if someone from code enforcement. The chief is here.
Hey, Chief.
Hi. Good evening.
My
It covers about.
condolences for the passing of your father.
Thank you very much, Mayor. It covers approximately 8 radios, from my understanding.
Okay. Thank you. That was the only question I had, Madam Mayor. And certainly our condolences are shared.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Move approval on item B as in
Any
boy.
second?
Second.
Anybody wishes to record a no? Item pass.
I vote in favor.
Mr. Clerk?
Item D, proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, adopting a revised classification and pay plan for unclassified employees of the city for the 2013 through 2014 fiscal year budget, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Madam Mayor? Thank you. Mr. City Manager, since we're pulling item K, which seems to me to be related, why wouldn't we just continue this one too so that we have continuity with all of these personnel proposed changes, retirement plans, and et cetera?
To the Mayor, Councilman, they're not related. The downsizing has already taken place. Whether or not the tab K passes or not, we have already implemented the deletion of assistant director and director. We're going to a manager form of supervision for the smaller departments. So what this item does is it makes the title manager unclassified. And assistant director would now go to assistant manager, which would also be unclassified as it is. But and this is to bring that into these smaller departments. We've already have in certain departments, for instance, in purchasing, what this would do is the director would now be a manager. It does limit their pay plan. So whether or not that passes or not, we have already moved forward to downsize the city.
I thought I understood you. This is why in my head they're related. I thought I understood you to tell me that a couple of employees are being allowed to stay until October 31st and so that they can qualify for this plan. And I don't know what's
For tab K.
For tab K, right? The tab
Correct.
K
For tab
early
K.
retirement plan. So my concern is that we do something under tab D tonight, but then, and you've asked tab K to be continued.
Correct.
Let's say tab K doesn't pass or is substantially changed. We'll already have retired some people or, pushed them in that direction by approving this tonight. I'd just be more comfortable continuing this item to the second October agenda so that they're both heard concurrently. To me, I just feel that was more clean. Why would you not want to pull this one at the same time? I mean, that's the interrelation I see.
Through the mayor, councilman, if the employee retirement incentive plan does not pass for whatever reason, the city has we're already moving forward in the elimination of positions, directors and assistant directors. So the reason why that we had extended it, because some of the directors and assistant directors, if the employee retirement incentive plan passes, they would be able to have that benefit. So by extending tab K, their date would also be extended in the event that it does passes. But they're not related. We are changing the titles, we are changing the pay plans, we are eliminating those positions, whether or not tab K passes or not.
Thank you.
Would you like to make a motion, Mr. Galvin?
I'd move to continue tab D as in dog to the October 23rd City Council meeting, the second meeting in October. 22nd. I'd move to continue to October the 22nd.
Any second?
Second that.
Mr. Clerk?
Councilwoman Keys,
Yes.
Councilman Galvin,
Yes.
Mayor Thundro.
No.
Sorry. Councilman Bienerme,
No.
Councilwoman Sterriel.
No.
Item fell 3-2.
Mr. Clerk, can you continue?
Well, we still need to vote on tab D. So I need a motion to approve tab D.
Motion to approve.
May I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Councilman Bienerme,
Yes.
Councilwoman Keys,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sterriel,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Galvin,
No.
Mayor Thundro.
Yes.
Item passes 4-1. Tab E, proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, approving the vacation, abandonment, closure, and sale of a portion of a city right-of-way along Northeast 127th Street, lying south of 12716 Griffin Boulevard, consistent of approximately 5,703 square feet in size, further authorizing the city manager to negotiate the sale of the subject portion of the right-of-way in accordance with Chapter 29, Article 3, Division 9, City of North Miami Code of Ordinances, Land Development Regulations, and to take all necessary steps to effectuate conveyance of property, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Public hearing is now open on tab F.
E, isn't it E?
E, sorry. Please come forward.
Yes.
Please come forward. Those of you who wishes to speak.
I'm not really a public speaker, so I'm a little bit nervous, but this is my third time here regarding this matter. My name is Kenneth Beck. I live at 12716 Griffin Boulevard. And basically, and like I said, this is the third time I approached the council, and I'm very appreciative and believe very much in the city of North Miami and the beautification and the betterment for all the residents. While we're here today, there may have been some changes in my favor, and I'm going to try to make a long story short. I also noticed Maxine Calloway isn't here, and I realize she was let go, which I'm sorry about. Anyways, I own a property which is almost an acre in land. Beside my property, once upon a time, was a jungle of woods in an area which used to be an easement street, which would have allowed my neighbor to go to the rear of his property and also would have allowed me to use the same road to go to the rear of my property. Some time ago, one of my neighbors had a problem, and there was a mugging. And she asked me if I would clean up this parcel because she had seen me doing an extensive renovation to my property, which I have done a lot of landscaping and improvements, and I really have done my best, and I work on it every day to try to make my home a reflection of what our neighborhood could be. Anyhow, originally at the few two meetings, there were some neighbors who had some concerns. And their concerns at that particular time were about open land and the possibilities of parks and the possibilities of green space, which I'm all for in some instances. In this particular instance, I always felt that because it was such a small portion of land, and because it was so unkept till I got the city to cut it down, and because I was willing to do so much as far as investing from myself to planting trees, beautification, putting a sprinkler system in, putting a fence in, which I had the North Miami Police at that property just 2 weeks ago. There was a group of kids that were there loitering overnight. When I woke up that morning, one of the kids had his pants down to his ankles, and I thought he was dead. And my dogs barked and we screamed, and the body never moved. Anyways, the police did come out, and once that siren went on, this particular young man got up off the ground, which I was relieved to see because I really thought he was dead. Anyways, I also spoke to some of my neighbors. I'm going to see if they're here. China and
Are you done with your presentation, sir? We can allow each...
Okay.
constituent to speak
Well,
at a time. You need
anyways,
to finish your time. is up.
I went over some of the ideas and with some of the neighbors that at first might not have been in agreement with me on this. And my only use for the land and purpose really is to beautify.
Okay.
The land is unbuildable, and from city rules and ordinances, it can only be sold to a neighboring property, which would mean. Anyhow, after I got a chance to meet with the city manager, Mr. Johnson, in front of me, and that same day, some of my neighbors were also able to go up to Mr. Johnson's office. After we met with Mr. Johnson,
Are there any other neighbors that are going to be speaking tonight?
yes,
Would you
I
please
hope
give them a
so.
chance to do so?
I
Because your
hope
time-
so.
Okay, your time has been up.
Oh, okay. Well,
Thank you.
my time is up.
Mhm.
Okay. In other words, okay. Well, shouldn't I end
We will
my?
ask question to the manager if necessary.
Well, my question is at this point, we've discussed a few alterations which I would be willing to do, which some of the neighbors were satisfied with, and I'm just hoping that the city, goes through with the sale. I also had a large investment in getting this far in it, and if the city decides not to sell, I would like to be reimbursed those funds which I put out over a year ago.
All right. Thank you.
Anyways, but thank you, and God bless the city of North Miami.
God bless
Thank
you as
you.
well. Citizen forum is still open. I have to remind you, all of you have 2 minutes to speak. We're going to try to, I see a large group of people here today, and we would like to try to respect the time frame.
You got the mic.
Okay, let me know when my time begins.
Go ahead.
My name is Stanley Joseph Stafford. I am speaking on behalf of a property owner who is my sister, Marcia Elizabeth Spencer, who owns the property at 12690 Griffin Boulevard. Unfortunately, my sister asked me to come because she is physically unable to attend this fine meeting because she's ill and she's not feeling well and she has to sort of stay in the house, and I'm very sorry about that, and she's very sorry. First of all, I'd like to thank the members of the City Council and the Mayor for this opportunity to speak with them prior to the vote on Mr. Beck's petition to purchase the land. But second of all, whatever his version of the situation is, I know that my sister and I were not aware of the dates of these meetings or of our opportunity to attend and to have a way of perhaps presenting a slightly different version of the situation before the members of the City Council and the Mayor. And I'm very sorry that neither of us were here prior to that time, and that this is my first appearance here. Now, what I'd like to say, first of all, is that when Mr. Beck moved into the house, which is just north, across Northeast 127th Street from my sister's property, her property is the south side, and his property is on the north side of this tiny little street, which is barely a street. It's Northeast 127th Street. He immediately began a series of renovations. Part of that was fine because it was his property he was renovating. But the parcel of land has always been, or at least for as long as we've known it, and at least it still is at this time, the property of the local government. Mr. Beck took it upon himself to remove a wooded area, which he had actually no right under the law to do, because this was not his property. It was the property of the local government, to, on his own initiative and on his own motion, to plant a bunch of palm trees there, which palm trees are not, I mean, we don't need more palm trees here. He hasn't done anything to improve it. He has fenced in a parcel of land which he does not own, and if you look at the situation from a legal standpoint, this constitutes basically adverse, or an attempt at adverse possession of property owned by the local government, which on his part is completely unlawful behavior. It is also extremely unfair to the rest of the neighbors. Instead of simply, what should have been done is that the city parks department could have simply cleaned up this wooded area without Mr. Beck attempting to...
Sir, excuse me, please.
Without...
You had your chance to speak. We're not
Without
having a debate
attempting-
here. You may conclude, sir.
I'm sorry. The Parks Department could have cleaned up this area. If there were potential burglars or some sort of dangerous characters who were loitering in those woods, then some of the fine policemen in our city could have easily gone and removed them and gotten them out of the way. This was not an excuse. The mere fact that the city had not been responsible, this was not an excuse for Mr. Beck attempting to basically take over possession of something which he did not own. He has been a very poor steward of a tract of land that he does not own. Now he wants to buy something which he should not he should not be considered to have the right to purchase something when he has already taken it over without purchasing it, when he has not owned it. And he actually should be forced to vacate this land and to remove his control, and this should be brought back under the control and supervision and the jurisdiction of our government, of the government of our city.
Thank you.
Rather than himself.
Thank you, sir. Your time is up.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mayor Tondro and council members. I'm a member of the Griffin Park Estates Neighborhood Association. Originally, Griffin, when he designed the area, wanted it to be a bird sanctuary, wanted it to be open spaces and parks. As you look at the picture of the beautiful city hall that used to be, and then it was torn down and this ugly building was built, you have a decision. You have a decision to make.
You'll have a new one, I promise you that.
We have 13 parcels of land in our neighborhood that make our neighborhood unique. There's no reason why the city can't spend a little bit of money on trees, which we already have funds allocated that Councilman Bianame won for our neighborhood. And with some of that money and with a little bit of vision and forethought and looking at what the people coming after us will be inheriting, you have an opportunity to really create in 13 parcels of land that total about 7.8 acres of land. You can create a green jewel of North Miami. But right now we're talking about picking one of the emeralds out of that crown, and then we're left with one less stone in our beautiful crown of our neighborhood. And where does that stop? There's no reason why our neighborhood can't be a shining star of this city. But if you start taking away pieces of it without planning for all of us for the future, it's not really fair to everybody in the neighborhood. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Citizen Forum is still open. I would like for you, before you speak, to state your name and address, please.
My name is Ed Wakesness, 12880 Griffin Boulevard, also a member of the Griffin Park Estates Neighborhood Association. You should have some packets that we had given to the office earlier. These are all copies of information directly from the city's own staff reports, the city's own year-based comprehensive plan and adjustments and land use adjustments. On the staff report, it says that Section 3903 of the city's land development regulation require to all requests for street abandonment meet the following minimum criteria. One of those criteria, titled letter E, the vacation or abandonment will not frustrate any comprehensive plan, special purpose plan, or capital improvement program of the city. My point with this is at this point now, it does frustrate a comprehensive plan, as District 3 has been appropriated $1.5 million for sidewalks, beautification, and streetscape. And we have spoken with our Councilman Biename and other members in the government to work on landscaping these waterfront green spaces as opposed to privatizing them and having them closed off. On page 3 of the same document, letter C, the proposed vacation or abandonment will promote development or redevelopment that will maintain and enhance the character of the surrounding area. With this, Kenneth and George have done a great deal of work on their property. I cannot doubt that. The larger vision, as Howard had just mentioned, is something for the entire community and developed for the entire community and the city not to close off and privatize one piece of land. On page 4, whereas the subject property was unmaintained, overgrown, and does not provide a benefit to public health, safety, welfare, convenience, and is not being used for the intended purpose, it should have been maintained right along. It was a city parcel of land. It was a right-of-way of 127th Street and was neglected by the city for all this time. So does just the fact that you ignored this piece of property mean that it's now okay to sell it off and lose it? If I made some other things, I'll skip over them. You do have the packet, and there's some things highlighted you can look at. Well, last sentence I want to say, these items are all taken from the city's own documents, reports, and the actual city master plan, which the council's voted in, with support, which all support keeping the city-owned green spaces public and in turn continue to develop these much-needed green spaces in North Miami. Council and City Hall continues to say we are short on green spaces and need more of them. We should be doing all we can to ensure that we at least meet the minimum, if not exceed the goals of the city's own comprehensive master plan. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Public forum is still open.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nadia Warner. My property is 12575 Griffin Boulevard. I am the last house on Griffin Boulevard, which is south of 125th Street, and my house is actually between Griffin Boulevard and Northeast 3rd Avenue. It's like a right angle, and it's like between both streets. Next to my property is also, there's also a piece of land that has been there, and I've been in the neighborhood since 1996. When I bought the property in 1996, I did request if there was any possibility for me to purchase this piece of land because it was not maintained. There was palm trees everywhere, and there was pieces of couch, old couch, beer bottles, colostomy bags, you name it there. And, you know, I was cleaning my property, and I kept on cleaning and made it better. But it just got out of hand. Every couple of months, the city used to come and clean up. You know, I'm a nurse, I work nights, so I was always awakened by them cleaning. But it got less and less and less, and over the years, it's gotten that they would come just before Thanksgiving parade. And the last 2 Thanksgiving parade, no show. So basically, I haven't seen anyone clean that property. So if Mr., I'm sorry, I forgot his name, but our new neighbor feels that he's entitled to buy this piece of land, I've been here since 1996, and I have requested to purchase that land way back when, and I was told that Land City is not for sale. So I don't know. I'm Haitian, so I was new. I was a first homeowner. I didn't know that I could come here and say my piece. So now I am here. So if this gentleman can plant palm trees over the sidewalk where I can no longer take the walk with my daughter and I have to go around his property so I don't step on his grass and, you know, run into the street and the cars because I can't get on his grass and I can't walk on his property because he's taken over the sidewalk, and he can buy this property, well, I can purchase that property as well and break the sidewalk and fence it all around and do the same. However, I don't think it's a good idea. What I think we should do is have, you know, beautiful landscape, beautiful lights like we've have, you know, between, you know, our streets now, and, you know, I don't know, a garden, a community garden, trees, plants. We even discussed with, the last time I was with the neighbors, they discussed some kind of sisterhood between, you know, having an exchange, all these vacant lots that we have. We could, you know, plant trees, and every tree we would plant, we would, you know, send trees to Haiti or whatever, you know, do something that we can give back a little bit to somebody, but, you know, just to give away a piece of land, just to give somebody a, you know, for measly dollars, just makes no sense.
Thank you.
Thank
Anyone
you.
else wishes to speak on this subject?
China Lucian, 12880.
This is a great segue that I'm going to talk about. I'll be short from what our neighbor Nadia said.
Address, please.
12880 Griffin Boulevard. The concern is that this could be a domino effect for nearly 7.5 acres of viable green space in District 3. These green spaces, or pocket parks as you call them, can be enjoyed by the entire city of North Miami. We are setting a precedent here that these city-owned spaces are up for grabs. For our specific community, you are talking about 13 parcels of land, 3 of which are directly on Griffin Boulevard. What is to stop any abutting neighbor of any of these other parcels of much-needed green space from applying to purchase these? Additionally, 127th is just hair of being buildable. 129th is absolutely a buildable lot. I believe it's 15,000 square feet. Variances are granted all the time in the city, which means both these lots could indeed turn into concrete versus beautifully landscaped green areas that the entire public can enjoy, that will bring our community together and increase property values. I want to add one thing. Kenneth and George are completely correct. We did meet with Maxine Calloway and the city manager, and when we left, we agreed that we were going to mediate a compromise. The majority of the community they just didn't want it. They really want to keep this a green space. We were really willing to try to kind of work something out so everybody would be happy, but it kind of boiled down to the needs of the many just can't bow down to the needs of one, and that's really what it came down to, unfortunately. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishes to speak?
Hi, my name is Suzanne Issa Johnson. I live at 12920 Griffin Boulevard. I know it's late, everybody's tired. I don't really have any prepared comments. I just want to say that I was just made aware of the situation today by my neighbors. It was something I was not aware of previously, and both my husband and myself would prefer that we keep our green spaces on Griffin Boulevard. We've lived on Griffin now for over 12 years. And while we love to see the area being renovated, we just feel like it's really important to keep some of the green space that we've got and not give it up. We do walk a lot. We enjoy seeing the green space. We look at it every day and have every day for 12 years, and we'd like to see it stay. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening. William Previtel, 11950 North Bay Shore Drive. As a member of the Planning Commission, I'd like to convey that on 2 occasions, the Planning Commission denied the applicant, thought there was better use for that land and that could be used as open space. I just present a few considerations. First is that we've had a comprehensive plan for the city of North Miami, and in that comprehensive plan it's been shown that we are desperately short of park space. Very little park space has been added, if any, in recent years. This is an opportunity. Really what a blessing it is to all of a sudden have this appear. It's also a fact that this is not something where we have to make an acquisition. The city already owns it. It's such good fortune that we have these very small parcels that require very little effort, very little maintenance, and require very little patrolling to make them successful, just to have as open spaces, whether you want to call them as a park or not. Let me also point out that our applicant here is, if I may say, a little bit indifferent, could sort of take it or leave it. If the concern is that there are kids, for lack of a better word, using the property and causing mischief there, well, I think it should be patrolled a little bit better. Our city should be patrolled a bit better, regardless of where and how the property is, whether it's the end of a street, the side of a street, or wherever, or private grounds. So therefore, no matter what, whether it's in whoever's hands, that should be patrolled properly. And may I point out that everyone, including and particularly the applicant, knew that this property was next to public land. This is not a surprise, and particularly the people in the neighborhood. The people in the neighborhood, it could be blocks away, knew that this was public land, could walk over there, could enjoy it. I don't live in that neighborhood, but I'm very thankful that these people have this public amenity, because helping that neighborhood helps all of our neighborhoods. And lastly, this is something where, as a council, I don't know if you'll ever have an easier vote, quite honestly, because it's been rough lately. You have an easy vote. You can make one applicant, one indifferent applicant, happy, and then take off the rest of the neighborhood. Or you can help every one of the citizens of North Miami by adding open space and preserving this space. Really appreciate your consideration and support for open spaces and parks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kenneth Each. I'm a member of the Planning Commission. And the first time that this came before us, we asked them to go back, get with the neighborhood. Maybe they would all chip in and buy the land and make it into a beautiful green space. The second time it came before the Planning Commission, I was on vacation. I was down the Keys, enjoying open space. And I would have voted for this gentleman. Let me look at this from a different perspective. First of all, when he bought that property over there, it was overgrown with weeds and everything else. I don't know if he knew it was city property or not, but he cleaned it up. He took the initiative to go out there and clean it up, and he invested in this city. He invested a lot of money to improve his home. Okay? Now, I've taken care of the swale areas in my neighborhood. I fixed them up. I planted trees. I'm out there sweeping the street. That's being a good neighbor. That's not taking over some land. During Public Lands Day, I cleaned the canal from 135th Street to 141st Street. That's being a good citizen. This man was a good citizen. He cleaned up the rubble and the rubbish and the trash over there. I heard somebody say, this is a jewel. Well, where were these people for all of these years when it was overgrown and it was a dump? They weren't there. But this man took the initiative to put his time and his money and his energy to fix up the property to make it into a beautiful place. Now, we have a citizen that is going to put out his own money and to create a green space. A green space. That's what these people want, a green space. I heard at the Planning Commission, they didn't want palm trees. They wanted oak trees or whatever. I don't care. They could all get together on what kind of trees. He's not taking the property over. He's going to buy it from the city. You know, we did a deal with Johnson and Wales where we closed off a street, and I heard everybody out there complaining about it, and they put out a beautiful, beautiful public right-of-way for everybody to enjoy, a beautiful plaza. This man can do the same thing over there. And if I'm not mistaken, the staff had recommended that we approve this. I lived in this city. I know that street. I patrolled it as a police officer. I seen it in its heyday. I seen it go down. I'm seeing it go back up again. And folks, you know, I feel like it's high noon when Gary Cooper, the town, left him here. I know that I'm taking an adverse position to the people that live in the neighborhood, but I seen what this man has done over there. He put his money where his mouth is. And I'll tell you one other thing. I wouldn't want a park or a public area next to me. And what he says about the kids going over there, you know what I can see happening? They'll be over there.
Your time is up,
dope,
sir. Your time is up, Mr. Ish.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, good night. My name is Peter Wayne Lashley. I presently reside at 12950 Griffin Boulevard. Forgive me for not being properly prepared. I was just informed of this situation by my neighbor who previously spoke. I am opposing this plan for the gentleman to purchase his property. Why? Because although he has indeed improved his property itself, thus making our neighborhood a lot more presentable to the eye, that area can actually be used as a beautiful park. It's adjacent to the waterway, which would be very easily put to good use as far as people accessing it, fishing, or whatever the case may be. Also, if I reside in that area, the closest park to me would be on 125th Street. I also, and I do have kids, they also utilize the park over there. This park would be a lot closer. The green space would be a lot closer. I myself am a nature person. Trees are good for us. Beautification of our neighborhood is good. Property value would rise. Thank you.
Thank you. Public hearing is still open. Anyone else? Public hearing is now closed. Do we have a motion to approve tab F? Just for purpose of discussion, Councilman, and then you'll have the mic.
Okay.
Any motion to approve it for the purpose of discussion?
Move to approve.
It's tab E for the record, Mayor.
Tab E?
Yes.
That is correct. Any second?
I would second that.
Thank you. Mr. Bien-Aimé, I know this is in your district.
Yes.
Can we hear you on it?
Yes, Madam Mayor. And generally, I will
never be in favor of selling city property. And in this case, after talking to several residents along Griffin Boulevard, and after I visit the 3 open space and the 7 island on the area, and right now I'm working with staff. Just last week I met with Alim, our public director, and we sat down with Miami-Dade County, because Griffin Boulevard is a county road, and we try to put a comprehensive plan about for the 3 open space and the 7 island on the area. That's why tonight, and I asked the council to vote no on the item, and I want to thank Mr. Beck for being a good citizen, spend a lot of money on the property, and if not only we can vote on it, no, and ask the city manager to reimburse Mr. Beck's all the money that he spent on the land. That's my recommendation.
Okay. Councilwoman Keys, any comments?
I'm not sure. I think that I messed up on the vote. Your motion was to approve the abandonment or not?
No, not to sell it.
Not to sell it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't want to sell it, but at the same time, we want to ask the city manager to reimburse Mr. Beck all the money that he already spent on the property.
Okay. I applaud you, Councilman Bien-Aimé. There are 3 little parcels. They're gems. They're waterfront property. I don't know how the city puts a $4,500 price tag on a waterfront lot. That being said, shame on the city for not maintaining this. We have just retained Country Bill. We can either pay him $50 a month to do this, or I know staff can also it's a matter of mowing. Again, we already own the property, so it's not like we have to acquire it. I mean, reiterating what everybody said, I know that our comprehensive plan says we are very short on park space and passive green space. And I think at the very least, if our city will just maintain and mow the lots, you've got beautiful little waterfront lots. And I would hope that maybe you could even do some minor improvements to this. As far as maintaining, since we would only be abandoning the one spot, we still have to maintain the other half where the other neighbor spoke up. We still have to maintain that, so we're not really accomplishing anything. And lastly, I think the domino effect, if we start selling off our little beautiful little spaces, and we have them really all over the city. You happen to have a lot. We sell one, then how do we stop selling them to everybody else and give up our little pocket parts? So I'm definitely in agreement with you.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor Galvin?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On the topic of repaying Mr. Beck what he's expended, do you know, Mr. Manager, how much that is at this point, even if it's just a ballpark figure?
I do not.
It should be under $10,000, right?
My request would, without reopening public hearing, Councilman, I'd like to know how much that's going to be, and then know where the manager is going to take it from. I just think it's only fair that if it's $5,000, $10,000, $7,000, that Mr. Beck document that's what he actually spent. Because, you know, right now I'd go, yeah, it's $10,000. Pay me $10,000. You know what I mean? Like, we should document that and then let the manager tell us where it's coming from.
We have staff.
So
we have staff speaking on it.
The abandonment application is actually $2,000, and the independent appraiser is $1,000. So it's a total of $3,000 for the actual application packet.
Yeah. Let me say this. I heard many of the citizens speaking, and at one point I think I understand where they're coming from. Our responsibilities as citizens as well is when there's things like that, when the city is not doing its job, is for you folks to pick up a phone and call somebody and tell them some work needs to be done in that specific location. And it's beyond my comprehension that a good citizen, that's what I call him, decide to do all this work without permit, without prior approval. And I think, although it was, goodwill, it was great thinking, but I don't believe that we should use city property as our own. This is why we do have a phone. We pick up the phone when something goes wrong. And it goes as well for those who are watching us at home, complaining that there's a hole in their street and nobody have done anything about it. If you don't let the city know what's happening, they would not know. And this is where I'm coming from. In terms of reimbursing, I really have an issue with that. I think he was a good citizen. He was doing his work. I don't see why we should reimburse something. As a matter of fact, we should have fined him. But since he was a very good citizen, he did it. We just have to send him a thank you note.
Madam Mayor, there is one thing we need to recognize. Mr. Beck spent a lot of money on his property. And because of that, I think the neighbor need to understand when we're talking about raising property value, if someone spend a lot of money on his property, he help your property get value. We need to understand that, and we need to recognize that he spent a lot of money in the area. We're not gonna sell it. We're gonna please you. We're gonna take the 3 open space plus the 7 small land. We're gonna turn it green, but at the same time, and asking the council if we can reimburse Mr. Beck.
Mr. Manager, isn't it this place we were going to do the AIDS Awareness Month Park Memorial?
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of them. Yeah.
Councilwoman still, you have not said a word yet. I'm sorry. You have a comment, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is Councilman Bianeme's district. I think I will follow his lead. But if you allow me, I would suggest that, not that I disagree with you, but I would suggest that we vote on this tonight. Then you give staff direction to go meet with the constituent regarding how much he spent. It wouldn't be fair to vote to reimburse him. What about if he come out and says $50,000, $100,000?
No, it's just a few.
So why don't we?
Staff know about the amount already.
Yeah,
we work on it.
Okay, so
can we get it from the money that was allocated for District 3? And it's not a lot of money. We've been working for over 3 months on the issue, and it's just a few thousand.
Yeah. So we're going to vote on tab E right now, as your motion was not to approve the selling of that piece of land.
Exactly.
And Councilwoman Keys seconded.
And reimburse at the same time.
No, that's the second motion. This is something totally separate.
No, that was the motion. It's not to sell it and...
Not to sell it. This is what's on tab E right now. We're not gonna... Are we selling it or we're not selling it?
We're not selling it.
Okay, this is
but
the motion.
But at the same time, I want to add that word on it and that paragraph to
Madam City Attorney, can you clarify for us? I want to make sure that we are all on the same page. Councilman Bien-Aimé made a motion for council, mayor and council not to approve the selling of that property, and also he added a friendly amendment to reimburse the citizens who have been taking care of that land the amount of money that he had spent on it.
So I think what is before you is a resolution, and I think you should vote on the resolution, and then with respect to reimbursements of funds, that's a separate motion.
Okay.
Are you suggesting for us not to do it tonight, or are you telling us that we cannot add doing a friendly amendment to a resolution?
I'm suggesting in this particular instance.
But that's a resolution. We always can add and we track. We always can change it.
Yeah, that's what she said, but she's suggesting that.
We need to vote first and
yes,
then...
and
okay.
then we do the friendly.
Okay.
I have something important to say real quick.
I'm sorry, public hearing is closed.
No.
Sir, we need to move on. We have a lengthy agenda. If you want to stay,
there, though, so that my neighbor and me have access?
We're working on it.
Or
We
is the road going to stay or not?
we're not working about. We're not
Mr.
talking about that.
Then my neighbor won't have access.
Mr. Clerk, roll call, please.
Okay. This is on tab E. Councilman Bien-Aimé.
Councilman Bien-Aimé,
No.
your motion.
It's yes. Oh, I thought not to sell it. I thought we.
Okay, just so that we can have a clear record.
Yeah.
This is a vote on Councilman Bien-Aimé motion not to approve tab
okay.
E.
That
Okay.
is correct.
No, it's yes.
That is correct.
Councilman Bien-Aimé, how do you vote, sir?
Yes.
Mayor Thundro?
Yes.
Councilwoman Keys?
Yes.
Councilwoman Steril?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Galvin?
Yes.
Okay, item fell. Motion, Bien-Aimé's motion surpasses and passes.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Bien-Aimé, you want to do?
Yeah. I wanna bring a motion to reimburse Mr. Beck.
Through the mayor, councilman, what staff, if there was to be anything reimbursed, let me make it clear that city staff was the one that cleaned up the lot.
Okay.
The applicant did pay for trees.
Yeah.
We're not recommending that we reimburse him for the trees.
For the trees. Okay.
Correct.
Okay, he will move. Okay.
Yes, but there is an application fee
Okay.
of $2,000. There was an appraisal fee of $1,000, and then there was a survey of $650. All of which that if we would only recommend those items.
Yeah. Okay.
And not for maintenance or anything like
Work
that.
on the best interest of the city.
Correct.
Whatever it is.
Thank you.
Can
Okay.
you quickly give us a total for
3,000, approximately $3,650.
Okay. Can I move it?
I second it.
Approximately $3,650.
So I have a motion from Councilman Bien-Aimé to reimburse said gentleman $3,650. May I have a second, please?
I second it.
It was seconded by
May I ask
Councilwoman.
where the money's coming from? Are we going to use this from the District 3 funds? Okay.
The city money.
So this is going to come from the District 3
From
funds?
city.
No, don't say from the city. Is this coming from the District 3 funds? Or is it coming from our general fund?
Mr.
You